to digital wandering, and it's been a few days since the September 14th Apple event where they introduced the brand new products. And just to let you know, I'm on my 2010 MacBook. So I'm on an old MacBook to talk about new Mac products. So this event introduced a lot of really cool things, and it's been a few days since it happened, so I had an opportunity to gather my thoughts and talk about what we've seen on that event. Now, the thing is that you can watch it. This is on apple.com, but you also have an opportunity to watch it on YouTube. So if you haven't seen it, and it's been seen by 17 million people so far in just the last couple of days, I'll include a link to it in the description, but it's also very easy to find. Now, they showed a lot of different products, and there was one product that stood out, and you know that product is going to be the iPad mini from the description. But I do want to go over the other things that they showed. I was really impressed with this version of the iPad. They started off the event with describing this product, and I do like the iPad, but this version of the iPad is a little too big for me, and that also applies to the iPad Pros. They didn't talk about any iPad Pros on this, so this was the larger iPad that they introduced during the keynote. Excellent product. Everything seems to be really great. I do have a 2018 version of this iPad, and this version, a 2021 version, is definitely a major upgrade from that 2018 version. But again, it's a larger size iPad that I'm not really in the market for at this time, but really an interesting product. The same thing applies to the iPhone 13. Now, I'm currently using a iPhone SE first generation for my needs, and something like this, the iPhone 13, will be a major upgrade from the iPhone SE first generation in every way possible. Um, so this is for me would be a major upgrade, but I'm not really in the market right now to get a new iPhone. And for the reason is that iOS 15 is coming out, and it should be released on the 20th of September, and that will support the iPhone SE first generation. So since this new operating system will support my old iPhone, I'm gonna rock with it for at least another year. Um, so yeah, although this iPhone 13, iPhone 13, and iPhone 13 Pro would be a major upgrade for me, since my device is still supported. I'm not upgrading to a newer iPhone, even though I would really like to um, at this time. Now, for people that have an iPhone 12, I don't know if this would be a compelling upgrade. It seems like it's just a slight upgrade on the previous model. So it probably wouldn't be compelling for someone that has a iPhone 12. But for me, what I saw was really impressive with this iPhone 13. But the real star of the show for me was the iPad mini. Now, I have a video, and I'll also include this in the description as well, where I discuss my attachment to the iPad mini and why I think it's such a great product. And one of the things I talk about in that video is that if I had to limit myself to just one device, so if I had to look at my laptops, my smartphones, and my tablets, and I had to choose just one device, I would choose the iPad mini as my single device. If you put a gun to my head and force me to use just one device, this will be the device that I'm using. Now, I'm currently using the Apple iPad mini 2019. So this is the one that I have right now. And I talk about why I think it's such a great product and why it would be my single product if I was reduced to just one device. Now, the current iPad mini, the 2021 iPad mini, is a major upgrade over that. And this is something that I'm really drawn to. The smaller size of this iPad just works for me over the larger iPads. And what this new iPad has done is it's given it a lot more power than you had previously. It's getting closer to the Pro. Now, for a while there, a lot of people were describing this new iPad mini as the iPad mini Pro. Now, I don't, there's been rumors about an iPad mini Pro for years. I don't think Apple will ever give an iPad mini that Pro label. Now, the Pro label really with Apple products is just marketing. Any computer can be a professional device if you use it for professional reasons, and that's any iPad, any tablet, any smartphone. But by adding the Pro, it signifies a premium, and I don't think Apple really looks at the iPad mini as anything other than a consumer device. But what they did here is that they added a lot of different things that I really was excited to see. Let's see if we can. Now you obviously are getting that more powerful chip than what you have. Let me see what chip I have here on this one. Okay, we have the A12 Bionic, and this will have the A15. Also, I do have the cellular model, but it's a 4G model. This one will support 5G, so that's a major benefit here in future-proofing the device. Also, you have support for later version of the Apple Pencil. My device supports like the first generation Apple Pencil, where you had to like plug it in to the Lightning port. And talking about the Lightning port, let's see where it is on this page here, because now the iPad mini is supporting Type C. Now, here we go, right here. USB-C port. So this is a major benefit here as well, where mine still supports Lightning. I think Lightning is still the way you charge it on the iPhone as well, on all models of the iPhone. The Pro models of the iPad has moved over to Type-C for a few years now. Now, finally, their USB-C is now coming to the iPad mini. That's a major benefit here. Just to get to a point, I want to get to a point where I can use one charging cable for all my devices. That's kind of true if I was using Android exclusively, because my Apple laptop is on Type-C. My newer Android phones are also on Type-C. My Ubuntu Touch device is on Type-C, so I could plug that in using the same cable, but my iPhones and my iPads are all on Lightning. So I have to have a Lightning cable just to use these iDevices. But I want to get to a point where I can use one charging cable for all of my devices. The only time I get close to that experience is with like a wireless charging pad, where I can put devices that use a lot of different charging cables on that pad to charge them. I want to get to that point with a cable where I can use one cable to charge multiple devices. We're not there on the iPhone just yet, but we're getting close to the point where I guess we're essentially at the point where all the iPads are using Type-C now. So that's excellent. So it has to be coming to the iPhone sooner or later. I think the problem with that is the accessories. Accessories for the iPhone are all going to be using Lightning, and that caused an uproar when they moved from the 3-pin connector to Lightning, that all those accessories, you had to use an adapter with them if you wanted to continue to use those same accessories, and that is expensive, especially the adapters sold by Apple. You could maybe get a third-party adapter that would be a lot cheaper. Now, also the camera. Now, I'm very satisfied with my camera on the iPad mini 2019, but this is getting into a more advanced camera technology. I think I said previously that the iPad mini 2019, the camera was kind of like um, a smartphone flagship from maybe 5 to 10 years ago. Well, now with this camera on the newer iPad mini, we're probably getting into a space where the camera is getting closer to a smartphone, a flagship smartphone within the last 5 years. It's just really awesome what they're doing here. And it also has a flash, which is great for the back camera. And on the front facing camera, they also have a flash effect as well where it lights the screen. So you kind of have a flash on the front as well. So everything as far as the hardware, it has the same footprint, but they shrunk the bezels and they move so you don't have that the Touch ID button here any longer. That's Touch ID is moved to the power button. So it's just really, I think the design, the improvements, massive, massive upgrade here. This is really the star of the show, and for me, and I'm really glad that a lot of the rumors, a lot of the things came to true here with the newer iPad. Now, one thing, and this is one thing I was really curious about, in that this is also something that kind of separates it from a Pro device. Now, I was really curious about this, and when you go into storage, the highest storage option is 256 gigabytes. Now, for most people, that's enough. But since someone like me who likes to have a lot of things locally stored on their devices, including movies, if you put high definition movies, an individual movie can be several gigabytes. You can really eat into that space. I was really hoping that they were going to put a maximum of 512 gigabytes for this new iPad mini. So I was a little disappointed that it's 256 gigabytes. That's the max for the 2019 as well. That's what I have right now on my 2019. So I was really hoping for 512. I knew a 1 terabyte was going to be out of the option, wasn't going to be an option, because a terabyte tends to be, I think, for an Apple, that's only available, a terabyte or more is only available in their Pro machines. And I think the latest iPad Pro, or excuse me, the iPhone Pro has a now 1 terabyte option. Previously, you only had the terabyte options with these mobile devices on the iPad Pros, but now you have that with the iPhone as well, with the Pro iPhone. So yeah, that's one disappointment that I had with this release, is that I wanted to see a higher storage option. Everything else was really great. It's really, I'm really thinking about upgrading, but I don't think I will, because my 2019 is running just fine, and it's going to be supported for years to come with updates. So I don't really need to update my iPad mini, but I got to tell you, it's very compelling from everything I see here. So I just wanted to share that. Yeah, watch the Apple event. I think it's a lot of really great information. Apple puts on a really great event, and I always like watching them. It's kind of interesting because a lot of the other tech companies do not put in the effort that Apple does with their events, as far as making it like something that they want the public, not just insiders, to tune into. With the other companies, it seems like it's mostly geared towards insiders, tech writers and such, and people in the industry. Their events, I often have to go through secondary channels to see their events, where you will often, they'll condense it and they'll show highlights, which is great. You know, just to save your time, just to see what the most important pieces of the presentation were. The only other company that kind of did a lot of effort when it comes to the events, where I used to watch a lot of their keynotes, was OnePlus. OnePlus used to do that. I don't know if they're going to be doing that a lot with the restructuring of their company, but that was one place where they also put a lot of effort, and they gave you a lot of notice that they had an event coming up, so you could kind of watch it. But then that's just my thoughts on the latest Apple event. If you have any other thoughts that you want to share, please put them down in the comments. Thank you for watching. This is Digital Wandering signing off.